Okay. So first thing we have to do, we have to make the roof, right? So let's do that, and let's go with something like a 3 voxel by 3 voxel, and I'm gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna fill this in with wood. Let me grab that over there. Fill this in with wood. And I'm going to come off of this, and then I'm going to get my vertical peak put up. Something about like that. I think that'll do. Yeah, that'll do. And let's fill this in. And let's go to my wood, and let's go to our burled shingles, and I think that's what I'm going to make the actual angle out of. Like this. Zoom out just so you can see this here a little bit better. I'm going to go to a 3 by 3. So we have something like that. And Shayla's being very quiet over here. Why are you so quiet, Shayla? All right. Now, but basically I'm just going to pretty much multiply this, big enough that I can kind of fight with it a little bit and get this sucker in here like so. And we're going to do several things with this. It's not just going to be one thing we're going to do with it. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer than what I normally would, because I'm going to do a roof join, and I'm also going to do the dormer. And the dormer, for those of y'all who don't know any of that carpentry terminology, it's the little windows that kind of comes out, and that's what we're going to be kind of playing with, right? And I think that should do it. The first thing I'm going to do is the actual window, and for this I want to take pretty much the same angle as what I have for the roof to actually create the dormer. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab a section, something like this. I think this will do it. We'll copy this out and bring it over here so I can see it just a little tad bit better. Yeah, that right there should do it. I want to paint this a different color so I can see what the actual shape of this is. So I've got 2 voxels right there. Okay. All right. We'll copy this, paste it, let's bring this down, mirror it. Shift click. Something about like that. Just so I have a visual reference of what I need to do with this thing here. And I'm going to fill up the center part with standard voxels. Not very happy with that too much, but let's see if we can clean it up just a bit.
Alright, I'm going to interrupt here because I just found out about a really cool tutorial on the forums.
I think I'm going to put an anti-voxel right there. So
there it is. Tenma, bookmark that.
I have to open it up in another tab and look at it later. Alright, so I'm going to copy one of my little anti-voxels there, and I'm going to put right here below this voxel, below this voxel that I put there, I'm going to put the little string voxel right under it, like this, so I can get a little peak kind of going on. And I think I'm going to put one on top, maybe. We'll see. That looks okay. I can live with that. And let's go ahead and paint all this up. Like so. Now, I want to take this across the bottom and get an add and then a delete. So I have a shaped form for the bottom. Copy. And now let's get this over here. V, rotate. I'm going to bring this up. I don't want it all the way to the top and I don't want it all the way to the bottom. So let's bring it out to about here. Let's bring it down just a hair. I'm going to pop it right there. And I'm just going to drag this all the way back until I get close to the actual roof section itself. Alright, I'm fixing to touch it there. And this will be pretty much the only one that actually touches the roof. Let's paste that one in. And from here you can kind of see the connection points, how that one right there is already kind of dug in. I'm going to go basically one voxel up from that and go all the way across. Pull this up, copy, paste, and drop this in. Pull it back. Grab the next section across. Basically, you're going to kind of be skipping one voxel up each and every time until we've merged that dormer to the actual roof section itself. Copy, paste. Grab the next bar over. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. Oops, missed it. There we go. Copy, paste. And we have almost finished. Copy, paste. And voila, we have the dormer pretty much set to where we want it. Just like so. Now we have to actually form up the rest of it. And this is actually, excuse me, the rest of it's kind of fairly simple compared to kind of the rest of it there. And I'm going to grab to about here on both sides, something about like that, and I'm going to drag this down until it touches just about here, just like that. And I'm going to fill this in with my wood texture. I think I'm going to go with a horizontal grain, pop that in, and that'll be my bottom facial board. And I'm going to do the same thing from here to here. Push it in. Something about like that. Actually, I might need to come out one more voxel for the facial. So let me grab this here. I'm gonna copy this. Pop in another copy out here. I think that'll do it. Yeah. Grab here. Pull up. This will give our framework for what we're actually making here. And for the rest of it, from here all the way down and here all the way down, I'm just going to go in there and manually put in the voxels for the rest of it. And you can see I'm starting to get voxelization here on the sides of it. And I can clean this up here in a moment, and I'll show you how to do that. And bring this out. We're going to clean this up and give it a nice clean straight edge. And I'm going to do that by coming right up underneath here or out here. Let's grab this. I'm going to copy this section, paste it, bring this down, paste it in. Gonna paste this in on both sides. That way we get a nice clean straight edge on that. Alright, now we have pretty much the body of it kind of filled in and done the way we want to. We have to kind of cut out all this extra that we have on the inside. And I'm just going to grab here, push up to the top, and then push backwards so that my selection goes into the actual body of the inside part of the roof. And we're going to just chop that section out. And we're going to do the same thing here, a little section at a time. And we're going to have a little bit extra hanging on the side here, but what I'm going to do is use these voxels on the inside part of this arch to replace all of this that's on the inside part here, and that'll help clean up the inside and give it a nice smooth right straight up through there. And just grab here, push this back, delete the next section, and we'll just zigzag it all the way up until we get all of this cut out the way we want. And it'll make it a lot easier to kind of work with. And what I have kind of in my head of what I'm going to do with this, it'll come out looking nice and sharp and very clean, especially if you want to have, you know, like a roof where you can actually enter the roof and you know, be able to walk out to the windows and look out, and everything looks all clean in there. Now, from right here, if I take, let's see, where's it at? Where's it at? Give it here. This one, I can copy that, paste. You can see the shape of this that I have right in my hand. If I drag this over and then back, I should be able, after pasting those in, that it gives that nice clean cut in there. Let's try to see if that last one will come out the way I want. Basically what I'm doing is lining that up with the existing ones, and I'm dropping it back one voxel at a time, and then I'm going to delete out the one that's sitting up at the top.
User disconnected from your channel.
It's a little painstaking, but it gives you a nice clean cut, and all we got to do is come in here and lightly tap with the smooth tool right along this edge, and it should come out looking really clean. Grab this one. Down and in. Drop it back, drop it back, drop it back, and then delete, delete, delete. So you can see how it's kind of coming out here. And if I take my smooth tool now, hold down Control and just tap it one time right there on that edge to kind of smooth it out a little bit. I could probably take care of the rest of it in the same fashion now. Alright. Give it a nice smooth look to it. Still got a little bit of bumping in here, but let's see what we can do about smoothing that out. This is doing the smooth tool, holding down the Control key to just lightly take off a little bit at a time to smooth it out instead of using it straight on. Alright, you can see the difference in between what you have here with these big old jaggies coming out and this over here. Now that I got this side over here pretty much taken care of, I could probably just take this, grab that whole section, copy it, paste it, Control V, bring it down, V to mirror, drag it to the other side, and pop it in. Shift click, and I'm going to put it in with air and paste. And that should take care of all the extra voxels that are around that. Smooth it all out, and now we've got this little sectional here that it's pretty nice and clean. And I've got all this extra voxels right here at the very base of it. I can either leave it or I can take them out, and in this case I think I'm going to take them out. Just because I want to. Hit the delete key, and now I have this little like inside board that I can kind of work with, and let's go ahead and paint this. And let's go ahead and paint all this in here too. I got a little bit of jaggedness there. I think I could fix that fairly quickly too. Let me grab this side, copy, paste, Control C, Control V. Let's bring this over like this. I'm going to hit V to mirror, place that in, and that sharpened that edge up right fairly nicely. I've still got some jagged edges in here, but it's not something I can't live with. Come in here and I'll just kind of smooth this out just a hair. A little tinkering, a little playing with, you can probably perfect that. Get it all nice and pretty. Alright, now we're kind of back out to the outside again. And as you can see here on the front facial of this, you've got some little, if I can get my camera to act like I want to, you've got like this here kind of going on. We got some weird kind of shaping going on here. I'm going to copy this board, paste. I'm going to drop it in on this edge here and here to kind of clean that little edging up. Still got a little buckling that happened there. Let's see if I can copy a voxel from over here. Paste. Let's drop this in right there. Clean that up, and let's make another copy of that over here. Okay, so now we're to this point. It's a lot of tinkering, but it can be done. You know, there's little to make this thing look as kind of realistic as possible. So now we have to figure out, okay, what do I want to do for a window? You know, how do I want this window to look? And it's pretty much up to you how you want to do it, but all the space is yours. I would advise coming in here and giving this a body of some sort. kind of like what I'm doing here now. And that way you have something to actually kind of work with. Something about like that. So you have your like your framework, and you can see how it's voxelized a little bit in here. That's really not much of an issue because we can kind of copy off of some of these voxels over here or back up inside of it here to fix this voxelization here on the outside. This will be recorded there, Zimmel, not a problem. I kind of decided not to do a lot of tutorial stuff right now. Not like I have been, because I know there's some big changes coming up with the tools and the user interface and all that kind of stuff. So I've kind of backed off just a little bit, simply for the fact that I know those changes are coming, and in that same fact, I'm going to end up having to go back and redo a lot of my tutorials that I've already have on YouTube. And I'm going to copy that section from out there in the back, and I'm going to paste this in right here on the front without error. Click, just to kind of clean that up just a tad. And let's come in here now and put some extra voxels in, and we'll probably have to repaste that one more time. Let's try that again. There are some... Calm Call, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And I'm going to paste one here, and I'm going to drop it back 2 voxels and paste it again. That way I have the inside of that board kind of cleaned up as well. All right, so from here I can put in my windows, and so all this is kind of set in stone the way you wanted it, pretty much the way you want. And you can come in here, change these textures, make whatever you want to out of it. And I think what I'm going to do here is, let's go ahead and just make this a solid just box. And I'm going to basically put just a window on the inside of that. And I can kind of play with this just a little bit more later or something. How you do this is pretty much up to you. This is kind of it's more, to me, this part right here, the merger point of something else other than a roof to a roof. How do you go about that kind of approach? How do you do the cleanup? That sort of stuff. That's the stuff that I really wanted to kind of focus on more than how to make a window or something like that. But after I've got my box in here, I can come in here and just copy that box and bring it over here. And what I'll do with this is I'm going to just put a voxel in each corner, and I'm going to delete out everything else. Because all this other extra stuff I could care less about, because what I'm going to do is make the window that's going to fit in that hole. So let me go ahead and stack this up and fill this all in with voxels. That's basically what my window is going to look like right there. Let's get to my glass, which is under stone. Scroll down to the very bottom, and if you don't have glass, you can create this in one of your workshops. And I'm going to fill this in with that glass texture. If it will aim, what does it go up there for? It's like jerking around on me. Stop doing that. Alright, now I'm just going to copy these now. I'm going to fill that in with glass, and now we're going to do some microvoxeling work and turn all of this into microvoxels. Come in here, and I'm going to give it a medium frame, something not too thick, not too thin. Let's go with that one. And you can create these just by putting down a voxel and doing a control smooth. But I'm going to use that one that's off the board just to kind of save time for what I'm doing here. I'm just going to replace all these corner voxels or these side voxels with this framework. And repasting back over top of the ones that start looking funky, like that one right there. Go back into the corner and paste. Paste. But I can, now that I have this one side, I can probably just copy this section. Copy, paste. Just fit in there. Paste. So now I have a little window to pop in there. Copy. And I'm going to pop this sucker in right where it was before. Paste. But I'm not done with it. I don't want just that. I'm not happy with that. I want to come in here and straighten up all this board facials and everything in the process. So I'm going to select this, go back to my add tool, pick up that wood texture again, and basically reapply the add tool to that selection. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Boom, just like that. So now I have a nice little window for my little roof section. Yeah, just need hinges for it to swing out, right? Okay, so now we have this little dormer that I've created. Now you can come in here, retexture it, do whatever you want to with it. The more you play with it, this is a simplistic version of a dormer. It's not meant to be like all badass or anything like that. So, but the more you kind of play with it, the more you can kind of spice it up. You know, textures are everything. I mean, I could come in here with, say, my wood texture. Let's go with like a vertical wood grain. And I can just paint the corners. Oops, kind of went off a little bit there. Paint, you know, just the corners of it. Give it that little extra so it looks like something different, okay? You could go and just paint these, instead of leaving this with that tiling, let's go with something like the diagonal grain straight wood. Let's select all of this on the front right here, and let's just paint that, you know, and that way you've got like this wooden section coming out on the outside. It would probably actually look better with plain wood. So let's just go to plain wood. Plain wood, so we get a mixture of different textures. And I would advise, if you're doing any type of a building, try not to stick with the same pattern, same textures. You know, look around inside your different textures and find something different, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. It'll give a little bit more realism to your build than just kind of leaving it the way it is. I'm going to just go around the outside. I'm going to put this plain wood in here. Something like that. I mean, to me, that looks a little bit more realistic. Maybe it's just me, but it does to me. Yes, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. And But definitely play with your materials a little bit, and I honestly think you'll come out with some fairly interesting different looks. I'm not sure. Is Cool's talking to me? Because I'm probably not. Oh, I think he's talking to somebody else. Never mind. But let's see. Mellow Melon. Wait a minute. What am I missing? Lattice. Well, I'm going to go back to this roof in a minute. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. Actually, no. I've already done a video on that, so I'm not going to do it again. Merging two roof sections. You can take like this roof section, turn it to the side, and if you do like a herringbone with your voxels, so literally they're like this. Copy and section out. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And you're basically just extending it out one voxel each time for your copied section. You can merge two roof sections together like this. So if this was a roof and this was a roof, you basically merge them together in a herringbone. I'm going to leave it like that. And if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, definitely check out doing roofs, roof corners. I do have like 1 or 2 videos on that on my YouTube channel.